We're back with a live look at the crowds on Christopher Street outside the Stonewall Inn as they mark the 50th anniversary of the Stonewall Uprising that fueled the gay rights movement. And more people have been gathering there all day long.
See the crowds, they've been growing. Now we are just minutes away. A rally is going to start that will reimagine the events of June 28, 1969. That's when a police raid at Stonewall led to those historic demonstrations. Earlier today, there was a concert outside of the Stonewall Inn that celebrities, including Cyndi Lauper, Whoopi Goldberg, and Mr. Sulu himself, George Takei, showed up for. Also, an appearance by Lady Gaga that had the crowd cheering.
And where there are celebrities and crowds, there's marketability, of course, but some in the LGBTQ community are asking, is the movement being over-commercialized? Well, I took a closer look at the debate and how it's even prompted plans for an alternative Pride March.
They're everywhere. Corporate rainbows everywhere.
The biggest brands, banks, even Bubba Gump Shrimp are proudly celebrating Pride Month in New York City.
Look at those rainbows right there. They're huge.
At the epicenter of tourism, Times Square, gay pride is as mainstream as ever.
There's Old Navy.
But for some, like activist Ann Northrup and Robin Scott, the representation has crossed into exploitation.
Any of this in particular that offends you or makes you cringe?
It all makes me cringe because it's so obvious. It's so predatory.
I think they are making money off of my community. They are not necessarily supporting my community.
It's all about visibility.
Jonathan Lovitz is with the National LGBT Chamber of Commerce. He sees the corporate support as literal signs of progress.
For the kid out there who's going to come to the big city and walk through Times Square or walk through Rockefeller Center and see that, it's changing, if not saving a life.
So just being out in the open is a positive impact.
Absolutely.
That progress also on display in Times Square, where Jacob Duvall and Catesby Saunders wanted to take their wedding photos.
Well, it's really cool to see the representation. It's amazing in comparison to when we were growing up, but it does at times feel a little bit put on.
On this 50th anniversary of the Stonewall Uprising, the movement's progress is also marked by the growth of the march. Millions turn out for what's evolved into a massive party with major corporate sponsors and fun floats. But for Northrup and Scott, the message is getting lost in the hoopla.
This parade doesn't care about me. It doesn't want to listen to my needs, right? And it isn't fighting for what matters.
That's why they organized the first ever Queer Liberation March. It's happening Sunday before the official march.
Yes, Pride was a riot, but that riot paved a road toward progress that we have to go down together because we will not succeed apart.
Pride March officials say there's room for all kinds of Pride events in the city, and supporters point out corporate revenue eases the burden for advocacy groups and nonprofits, while concerns of commercialization are a byproduct of success.
We came from the shadows very much into the light, and now we're marching proudly down Fifth Avenue claiming that we will never go back in the closet again, and that our movement is stronger than ever because we have more allies and more cohesion with the other diverse communities in America.
And supporters of corporate involvement also point out how many of the companies selling that Pride gear you saw are donating portions of the proceeds to LGBTQ causes.
Thank you for watching this video from NBC4 New York. You can subscribe by tapping the button below me, and on the left you can see our latest updates, investigations, and digital exclusives. We'll see you next time.